This week on Transworld Sport, surfs up in the Cape Verde Islands as the World Tour splashes down on Sal.
We discover a sport in Peru where chipping in gets you roasted on court.
Trying to help Nepal's street kids, the Sahara Club offers shelter, food and football.
And in the first of our series on Laos, an impoverished country with a turbulent past, we discover what roles sport can play in its future. This week, kickboxing.
Every country in the world has its traditions, its people, their customs. Peru is no exception. A stroll around Lima tells us a lot about the habits of the population as well as everyday life in the capital. Native to South America, the humble potato is a staple of every diet here. There are about 3,000 varieties of spud in Peru alone. Fish is also very popular, and more than 50 species are caught commercially. The national dish, called ceviche, consists of raw fish marinated in lime and lemon juice. Flanked by invasiones, similar to Brazil's favelas, Lima has social issues too. Festivals are widely celebrated here. On Valentine's Day in the Parque del Amor, couples get together to see who has the greatest stamina for the longest kiss. When it comes to indigenous sport, it just so happens that Peru's is also its national pastime. Paleta Frontón, or simply Frontón, is a mixture of tennis and squash.
It's quite a physical game, and you have to be pretty strong and fit to play the different strokes, both forehand and backhand, and especially the volleys. It requires a lot of agility, much more so than tennis, for example. You can compare it to squash, where you sweat a lot. With this game, you're outside, you've got the sun on you.
You can play both singles and doubles fronton. A singles match is played over 5 sets. In the first 4 sets, it's the first to 15 points, while the final set is decided by the first to 15 points or by a 2-point difference in the score beyond that figure. A doubles match is the best of 3 sets, and each set goes to 21 points. Players take turns hitting a ball against a 5-by-6 meter wall. A point is won when your opponent is unable to return, when the ball bounces twice, or when it goes out of bounds. It's a simple and straightforward game, and it's one of the few sports practiced by people from all social backgrounds.
One of these paddles costs around $30, and the balls cost around $4 to $5 each. The paddles can last up to 10 years, and the ball's about a month, but after that you can just re-inflate them, and they'll last you 3 months. So it's cheap. The accessories don't cost much.
You don't need to be a member of a club to enjoy a game of fronton. There are 8,000 recreational players in Peru and another 2,500 who compete at national and regional level. Lima alone has 1,200 courts, of which 400 are open to the public, like this one here in Surco, a working-class neighborhood not far from the city center. Local residents try to make use of the courts as often as they can.
Especially on the weekends or after work, after working really hard from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays and Sundays, we try to get down here, have a bit of fun, relieve the stress for a while, be in harmony, sweat a lot, and have fun playing this wonderful sport.
First played by a small group of socialites who were members of Lima's most exclusive sports clubs, fronton dates back to the 1940s. The Club de Regatas was the watering hole of the richest and most influential people of the time. The club featured a variety of sports like sailing, rowing, and pelota a mano, where a player hits a ball against a wall with his hand. That is, until someone at the club came up with the idea of using a paddle instead of a palm. Paleta Frontón was born.
The sport developed little by little when more and more people started to play it. After a while, an official fronton court was finally developed. This court consists of a cement wall and floor. Pretty simple. Other clubs started to follow suit and develop their own courts. And that was how Paleta Frontón came about, how the sport evolved.
Claudio Suarez has played for over 50 years and has seen fronton grow into the sport it is today.
When the frontonistas first started playing this sport in 1945, they would take a tennis ball and shave it, remove all the fuzz from its surface, and then they would play with the hairless ball. Gradually, with evolution and technology, we have developed this rubber ball, made to official specifications, which bounces differently. In the first days of the sport, the players would take pieces of wood from crates of whiskey, and then the first frontonista decided to cut one of these whiskey crates and make a wooden paddle from it. The most recent paddles are made of carbon fibre. They're synthetic, lightweight paddles that can hit the ball in the same way as the wooden ones, but are able to absorb the force of the hit as well.
Despite its growing popularity, football, not fronton, remains the most widely played and watched sport in Peru. Lima's three big clubs, Sporting Cristal, Universitario and Alianza, pack in the crowds when they play at home. Unsurprisingly, Paleta Frontón tournaments don't enjoy the same popularity. Most events go practically unnoticed, despite TV coverage.
Paleta Frontón is growing, but people need to be motivated to come and watch these sporting events and get a bit more involved. And also they need to understand what it's about. The tactics, the strategies, or the rules of the game. That's what's missing at the moment.
The nation has caught the Paleta Frontón bug, and word is spreading fast about how cheap and accessible this sport is. The number of frontonistas who play competitively is growing by 10% every year. As more and more people pick up a paddle, at least the future looks bright for Peru's unheralded national sport.